4, 5, 6, 10. Okay. Hello, internet world. Okay, I want to make this video quickly. I'm not going to spend a million years on it. But this is my video. Okay, so basically on Cinemassacre, and pretty much, probably a whole bunch of other channels too, but I've only seen the Cinemassacre one. Because, you know, when trends start going on YouTube, like, especially things that have to do with, like, top 10s and shit like that, like, kind of everybody does it, I feel like. But I'm not subscribed to enough channels to, like, get the spread, you know? If I was subscribed to, like, 100 channels, I think I would see more patterns, like, oh, everybody's doing this now. Everybody's doing that. But, anyways, I saw it in Cinemassacre, and I know he can't be the only fucking one. So, basically, yes, it was movies that everybody else thinks is great, but I don't like. But in James's video, of course, he's a nice, kind man, or at least he seems like it, so he's all like, well, I don't dislike these movies, I just don't love them as much as everybody else. It's just a disparity between how much I like them and how much everybody else loves them more. But me, I'm a cold-ass bitch, so I'm mean. So these are movies that I straight up don't like. I don't like any of these movies. Like, if somebody asked me, if somebody invited me over, especially if it's somebody who I really liked spending time with, and they were like, we're gonna watch this movie, I would be like, but probably only the top 3 I would, like, decline entirely. But, like, I don't know. These are not movies that I don't like them as much as everybody else. Like, I straight up don't like any of these movies, but they're movies that everybody, at least online and in my jobs, you know, and stuff like that, everyone seems to say is like, oh, that movie's so great, blah, blah, blah. Or at least I remember people saying it was great, you know, shit like that. So anyways, okay, let me start from the top. Okay, number 10 is Sin City. Okay, I saw Sin City in 2017. No, what am I talking about? 2007. I watched it at my cousin's house, and it was a while ago, you know, 2007. So, what was that, 13 years ago now? But, or more, 14 years ago. Holy shit. I don't want to think about it. Anyways, so yeah, I saw it back then, and, what was I gonna say? I totally lost my train of thought now. I should cut my hair short like this. Nah, I don't know. Anyways, right, I'm wasting fucking time. My mind totally blanked because I started thinking about 2007. Anyways, okay. Right, okay. I watched Sin City. Sin City I do not like. I remember everybody making a huge deal out of it. It was the same type of shit as Watchmen. It was just like, oh, these movies are so great, but I never saw Watchmen, so I feel like I can't judge it. But I did see Sin City, and I'm just like, everyone is just making such a big fucking deal about it. Like, oh my god, they use, like, high contrast of, like, yellows and blacks, and they make it look like an actual, like, comic book that you would, like, open the pages and shit like that. And it's like, yeah, okay, some of the shit was cool. Like, I think I remember, like, they did some, like, paneling or something, like, they did some, like, some shit to make it look like a comic book, and, you know, stuff like that. But I just, like, the movie to me was boring. I didn't give a fuck about it, and I was, like, kind of half falling asleep as I watched it. It just didn't do it for me, and some of the shit annoyed me. Like, it's one of those movies also where I feel like if you don't like sassy, like, in your face, rude, like, I'm a smartass and I feel like I'm better than everybody else. Like, if you don't like Rick from Rick and Morty, which I don't, if you don't like that type of personality, or if you don't like the personality of these fucking people on, like, NCIS and, like, shit like that, people who are always, like, fucking, like, I'm gonna make your decisions for you, and I'm gonna fucking control you, ha ha ha, because I'm so much better than you, and I'm gonna say something sassy, a little one-liner while I do it. If you don't like people like that, then I feel like you're not gonna like Sin City, because these fucking people are just so fucking full of themselves in the movie. That's what I remember. And I just remember there was a big rock monster, like, almost kind of like the Thing from whatchamacallit, from Fantastic Four. I think that's what he was trying to be. And he was, like, eating whole jars of pills at a time because he was supposed to be schizophrenic or some stupid shit. That's another thing I didn't like about the movie, which I'm sure is part of what made everybody else love it so fucking much, but which made me hate it, is that, like, I just feel like they were trying to incorporate too much actual real life serious shit, but blend it with like funny, humorous, like totally unrealistic comic book shit, which now that's like totally common because comic book movies have gone all fucking out the haywire shit, and there's like they're doing that left and right. They're talking about globalism and world wars and shit like that, and they're just like I remember, what is it, the new fucking Suicide Squad movie, the trailer was playing on YouTube like after between every video for like a couple days, and I just remember they're like, he's in maximum security prison for putting Superman in the ICU. I'm just like, to me that line right there kind of just like says it all, because it's just like, it's too much, it's just too silly to me. It's like too much blending of like serious things with, it's fucking comic books. It's fucking comic books. Like, how, it's confusing to my emotions. It's like, how serious do you want me to take this shit, and how not serious do you want me to take it? It's like, I just can't, my autism can't fucking function. Anyways, I'm already on 6 minutes. Christ have mercy. Anyway, yeah, it was boring. It was boring. I didn't like any of the characters, and I didn't feel connected to anything or anyone, and I don't even remember the plot. It was so uninteresting to me. Okay, but Sin City is only number 10, the bottom of the list, because I feel like if somebody asked me to watch it with them, I would be like, okay, fine, whatever. It's not that much worse than your average boring movie, but it's just like, I just remember people saying it was so great and making a big deal out of it. Okay, number 9. Where's number 9? Okay, Ghostbusters, the first one. I know some people say, you know, of course the one with all the women is just fucking hated, and some people don't like 2, but like, the first one, the first Ghostbusters, I feel like is like one of those 80s movies like Rocky and shit like that people just think is, like, all the 80s kids think is so fucking amazing and great. And it's just, they're all just like, oh my god, like Ghostbusters, yeah, I'll put that on any time, it makes me happy. It's like, hey man, I'm glad it makes them happy, but I don't give a fuck about Ghostbusters. That movie is just, to me it's kind of boring, but like, not boring in the same way as Sin City, but like, it's just like, I don't know, I'm just not into it. You know what I think is the problem with the first Ghostbusters with me? I think that Ghostbusters has become such a huge, like, cultural icon that, like, I see, like, the results of it everywhere. Like, of course, the Marshmallow Man is, like, the main fucking thing. The fucking Marshmallow Man is everywhere. And then there's, like, you know, the packs they wear on their back. There's, like, the little cage thing that, like, ghosts get sucked into it. And, like, I don't know, I just, and of course the song and everything, which is really funny because if you listen to the lyrics, like, to the whole song, I feel like it's just about, like Ghostbuster is, like, a, not euphemism, but how do you put it, like, a creative way of saying, like, a black guy's black girlfriend is cheating on him with a white guy, and he's like, you know, oh, a ghostly man is in your woman's bed, you know, and stuff. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? You know, that's the way I took it, at least. And he's gonna, like, bust him, you know, for sleeping with his girlfriend, you know, that's the way I took it. But anyways, I just feel like the traces of the first Ghostbusters movie are everywhere, and that every time you see them, you're supposed to, like, be happy and cheer and be like, oh, yay, it's Ghostbusters. But for me, it's like, I didn't watch as a child, I didn't watch as a kid, so it's not gonna have that same effect on me, you know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, that's that thing that people who are 10 years older than me like, and I don't really give a fuck about, because I never had a connection to it at all, ever, and I saw the movie when I was, like, in my late 20s or something. So, anyways, number 8, Amelie. Okay, I remember when Amelie came out. This is kind of like the other end of the spectrum from Sin City. People thought Sin City was so fucking badass. Amelie is, one of those movies for, you know, all the softies. It's like this soft romance, and, you know, it's supposed to be so fucking cute because this lady Amelie is just supposed to be so adorable, or I guess, whatever. Just because she uses her imagination to imagine 15 people having an orgasm in Paris at the same time It's supposed to be so funny and quirky. Like, I told you in another video, I don't like, The Life Aquatic, you know? I think that movie sucks, and this is kind of is like a French, like, version of the same, like, vibe, you know? I just don't like that cutesy romance, like, that shit just doesn't do it for me. The cutesy romance I do not like, and, like, yeah, I don't think, Amelie is just like, she just reminds me of, like, a girl I would be jealous of, because she would get, like, everyone's affection and care, and I wouldn't. But honestly, though, the movie's fucking boring, and I remember this guy in college, I think, or something, he was like, yeah, Amelie, it's just about some girl that had heart problems because her daddy never hugged her, which so, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. Where was I? Okay, 7, The Fifth Element. Okay, The Fifth Element, maybe I should be easier on this because I barely fucking remember it. Like, I saw this movie so long ago when I was, like, I think I was in 8th grade or something, but, like, because maybe 9th grade, because my best friend, like, dressed up as Lilu, is that her name? And, I never seen the movie, and I think, like, shortly after that, oh, she dressed up like her for Halloween, did I say that? Anyway, she dressed up like her for Halloween, and, whatchamacallit, and then I think shortly after that, I saw it with my family, and, yeah, I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I remember just being, like, super disappointed in it. I remember being, like, and this is another movie that I always hear people be like, oh my god, it's so amazing, it's so great, I watched it, that'll make me happy at all times. It doesn't, like, I just remember, like, being super disappointed. Like, I watched it, and I don't know what I was expecting. I was, like, 14 or something. But when I watched it, I was just like, this is it? Like, this is fucking it? Like, this movie sucks. I remember thinking that. I remember just being like, this movie is fucking garbage. Like, it's funny because I don't remember, like, why I reacted that way, but I just remember thinking that. I remember just being like, this movie is horrible, and I can't stand it. And, I didn't watch it again, I guess, to understand why I disliked it so much. Like, I recently tried to watch, Princess Bride again, and I remembered why I hated that sexist ass shit so much, but I gotta watch, Fifth Element again. I just feel like Fifth Element's, like, one of those movies that's, like, trying way too hard to, like, force you to feel the way they want you to feel, and if it works on you, great, and if it doesn't, then you're in my shoes. And, it's like, not only are you, like, totally underwhelmed and, like, disappointed because it's not as fun or funny or exciting as you hoped, but then on top of that, you have the irritation of, like, them trying to, like, force you to think that Lilu is some kind of fucking Jesus or something like that. And it's like, I'm not putting the bitch on a pedestal, but you know what's funny is that, like, the only thing I find to be interesting about it is, like, I'm pretty sure the Fifth Element came out, like, early 90s or something, right? Or maybe mid-90s? Something like that. If you know, the movie, Heavy Metal, the cartoon from 81, like, you know, it's an anthology, right? And the first, like, story of the anthology is, like, it's the exact same I don't think the storyline follows the same storyline because I don't know. I don't know what the storyline is from Fifth Element. But in whatchamacallit, in Heavy Metal, the first story, it's like, yeah, the characters are the exact same. It's like, you got your cab driver who's, like, balding, he's, like, this tough guy in New York, that's Bruce Willis, and then, he's got all these, like, weapons in his cab and shit, like, in case people try to, like, rob him, which they do all the time, like, because it's a dystopia, of course, like, he can, like, vaporize them and shit if they, like, try to pull a gun on him. And then, you know, he's just living his life. He's just like, yeah, don't fuck with me, you know, and shit. But then this girl gets in his cab, and she has, like, the magical amulet marble thing, which is, like, the source of all evil in the galaxy, or whatever the fuck. And that's Lilu, because she has red hair. She doesn't have the same outfit, but, you know, she has some skimpy outfit, and, she has red hair. That's the main thing, is she just has, like, that red hair, you know, and then they fuck, and they spend a night together, and then you watch Heavy Metal, you see what happens. And there's some really funny old prostitutes in there where, he's, like, carrying her into the apartment complex, and the hookers are just, like, it's, like, these old women hookers, like, they look like the Golden Girls, and, he's, like, carrying her up because she, like, passed out, of course, you know, and he's, like, carrying her up the stairs or whatever, over his shoulder, you know, and the hookers are like, oh, she couldn't take it, huh, and then he goes and he flips him off, and he's just like, hey, kiss my ass, and then she says, I'll do it for $20. That makes me laugh. Anyways, okay, where was I? Number 6, The Breakfast Club. This is fitting because I was reminded of it. I haven't even thought of The Breakfast Club in so fucking long. But the only reason to watch it is because, Judd Nelson is hot. But that is it. The rest of the movie sucks. I don't like it. And I think, wasn't The Breakfast Club made by, you know, I haven't seen 16 Candles or anything like that, or any of those other Molly Ringwald movies. The Breakfast Club is the only one I've seen. I'm pretty sure it's the most famous one. And, yeah, we were watching it in middle school, and one of the teachers put it, did I tell this story already, or was I talking to myself? I don't remember. We watched it in middle school, the teacher put it on, and was like, oh, I love this movie, and it's just like, okay. Great, but to me it's boring, it's, like, really slow paced, and then it's just, like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, I'm sure if you grew up in the 80s, like, you were a teenager, and you saw this at the right time, it was probably, like, great, because it was like, look, you're living in Reagan's America, and this movie's talking about just be yourself, and love yourself, and bullshit like that, but, when, you know, by the time I was a teenager, it was a completely different world. I never experienced Reagan's shitty America. I only experienced, you know, whatever he left behind. By the time I was a teenager, we were deep into Bush's America, and it was just a totally different vibe. So, The Breakfast Club it just seems, like, super outdated to me, and the jokes aren't funny, the cute parts aren't cute, and, the parts that are supposed to shock you aren't shocking. Everything is just kind of seems so watered down, you know? And, I'm pretty sure it isn't the same person who made The Breakfast Club, well, I'm not sure if it's the director, the writer, or whatever, but one of these people is the same person that did, whatchamacallit, what's that fucking movie where the kid they drive the expensive car out the window or some shit like that. Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller is the same shit. Like, people who had told me for years, like, you gotta watch Ferris Bueller, it's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny, it's hilarious, blah, blah, blah. And I finally saw it, and maybe they shouldn't have built it up or whatever, but when I finally saw Ferris Bueller, I just thought it was so fucking boring. And the same thing with, what the fucking Tom Cruise movie, where he has, like, the horror house. What is that called? Risky Business. Risky Business is another one that's exactly like that, where I don't know why, for some reason I got the impression like it was like this comedy. Like, I thought Risky Business, I guess the whole scene where he's dancing in his underwear, like, fooled me, because it made me think okay, for so long, that's like the only snippet of Risky Business that you would ever see and people would ever mention or parody and stuff, and so it gives you the false impression that kind of that kind of represents the entire movie, but it fucking doesn't. Like, I was under the false impression for so long that Risky Business was basically like the same thing as Animal House, like, which I also haven't seen, so that might be a huge disappointment too, for all I know. But I thought basically it's just going to be this huge party movie about just a party in a house getting way out of hand, and it was hilarious hijinks because, you know, like, maybe, like, a couple people are supposed to come, and, like, fucking 10 high schools come, and everyone's just, like, ripping up the house, and, you know, all this shit, you know. I thought that's what the movie was about. I didn't know it was about a fucking teenager understanding economics by becoming a fucking pimp. Like, what a fucking oh my god. I like Tom Cruise, actually. I am not one of these people who hates Tom Cruise. I don't give a fuck if he's a Scientologist. I don't give a fuck. I like Tom Cruise. I think he's actually pretty cool in his own way, you know. But he isn't. I like so many of his movies that I've seen. I like Legend a lot. I like Mission Impossible 1 and 2. I haven't seen any of the other ones yet. And I like, what else did I see him in? Anyways, whatever. I think he's cool generally, but he is in 2 of the movies that disappointed me the most. Like, Risky Business and Jerry Maguire are like 2 of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen. I guess I just had false expectations. But anyways, where was I? Okay, number 5, The Craft. Number 5 is The Craft. I'm not into The Craft. Another fucking movie where it just doesn't make me feel the way they want you to feel. Like, it's supposed to be some kind of underdog story, I guess, where it's also been a while since I saw this movie, but it's, like, supposed to be, I just feel like it's, like, if you're not, like, a stereotypical girl, or if that's not how you act, you know, you don't have to literally be a girl to be a stereotypical girl, like, obviously you can be whatever you are, but if you don't vibe with that whole culture and way of acting, I feel like you're not gonna get a lot out of this movie. Like, I feel like if you're butch in any type of way, you're not gonna appreciate The Craft. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm falsely accusing it of being too bitchy and chicky, but that's just how I remember it. Like, I put in the same category as, like, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, which I saw recently, like, only a year ago, or some, maybe a year and a half, something like that. I watched it at my coworker's house, and it's just, like, every part where you're supposed to go, like, oh, shit, she got her, blah, 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 like, oh, man, what a fucking diss, like, to me, I'm just sitting there, like, I don't give a shit, you know, like, give me a break, like, oh, yeah, she destroyed her, yeah, give me a fucking break, whatever. The Craft is supposed to be empowering, but it's not, like, not to me, like, I just never got that, and I don't like, like I said, I don't like the scene where the girl's getting stabbed with that weird machine. That shit really bothered me. But even if you edited that part out, like, I don't like the one girl who, I think she's, like, wasn't she supposed to be mean? That's kind of the point, but the one who started off, like, really poor, I think, and then she, like, wished to have a lot of money or something, and then all the other girls got mad because they're like, oh, you're not one of us anymore. Some shit like that, I can't even remember. But, anyways, I don't remember. All I know is The Craft is not, like, if you watch The Craft and you're not sitting there saying, like, oh shit, she slays, like, she's fucking badass, which I never said. That movie never made me say any of those things. I'm just like, okay, this, like, I guess they're studying witchcraft. Oh, but the part where they're doing light as a feather, stiff as a board, and they actually start levitating, but then as soon as they get too excited, they break their concentration and they fall. I actually like that scene. But everything else is, like, whatever. And then I like the visuals of the end when they each bring an animal to the beach of, like, the 4 elements. Like, they're the fish for water, a bird for air, a snake, I think, for earth, and something for fire. I don't know. Maybe just fire for fire. I don't remember. And then I think all the cages explode, right, or something? They're doing some kind of ritual at the beach. I don't know. That part was cool. I did a little animation that was based off that. Like, it's like a 1-minute animation. Not animation even, just pictures. But anyways, despite liking those 2 scenes, The Craft just does not excite me. And I don't feel anything, like, badass about it. I'm just like, so what if they're, like, walking in unison in slow motion in short black skirts? Like, I really don't care. Like, that doesn't ignite me. Anyways, where was I? 4, Kill Bill. Okay, Kill Bill. People love Kill Bill so fucking much, and they think it's so fucking great, but I don't dislike, okay, I guess this is the one movie where I don't dislike it, but it's just, like I said, for most of the other ones, it just doesn't excite me. It doesn't get me going. Like, people think Kill Bill's so amazing, and yeah, it's cool, it's, like, pretty unique. It's a really unique movie, but first of all, I don't like the fact that it's 2 movies, and, like, I don't know, it's just, like, repetitive to me, and, like, it's really sad, too, it's depressing, like, I think all the, like, action and exciting badassness is, like, supposed to distract you from, like, feeling sad, but it's just, like, I kind of just feel more sad, you know, and then, like, I like the only part I like is when it's, like, the Crazy 88, and they're like, he looks like Charlie Brown! Hey, Charlie Brown! Get me some booze, or something like that. That part's pretty fucking funny, but it's just, like, I don't know, Quentin Tarantino, I don't really understand his, I mean, I understand his sense of humor, but it just doesn't make me laugh, you know? And, like the whole part where she's, like, where Uma Thurman's, like, all bloody, and she sees, like, the little kid, and she's just like, yeah, your mom's a bitch, you can kill me someday. Doesn't she say something like that? I don't know. But, I don't know, I think that's, like, supposed to be funny, I think, and a whole bunch of other shit's supposed to be funny, but it just doesn't, crank my wires, you know? I'm not into it, and, like, I think in the second part, like, some of the fucking speeches and shit go on, like, too fucking long. Like, I feel like, isn't there one part where Michael Madsen has, like, some long-ass speech? I feel like that. And then the end, the whole entire end, as soon as she gets to Bill's house, is just a fucking drag, just a fucking dirge. God, it goes so long, and then it's just, like, I don't know, like, it's not for me. But you know what's funny is, like, I told this to some dude in a bar one time. Like, I have great respect for Tarantino because I like the fact that he does his own thing and he is not afraid to be a fanboy. I like the fact that he's made a whole career on just, like, incorporating pop culture in his own way and redressing it and taking, like, he's like a super, I think he would be like a great fan fiction writer because he doesn't do the things that, like, the new Star Wars movie and stuff where they just take, like, cheap, like they just take, like, cheap, whatchamacallits, like, remembrances, like, they just quote lines and be like, remember this, remember that, remember that. Like, Tarantino does it the smart, like, talented way where he, like, instead of just quoting lines and, like, having little small callbacks that are cheap, he's more about, like, recreating, like, a vibe, like the vibe of the 70s and, like, you know, B movies and shit like that, which I think that's really cool, and I like the fact that, I like directors that, take risks to do things that would sometimes be considered, like, unprofessional, or, like, anti-prestigious or something like that, but then they're good enough to where they can twist it to be, like, prestigious, because then that opens the door for, like, other people to, like, be able to go outside the box too. So I respect him, but honestly, none of his fucking movies, I'm not into any of them. I don't think there's not a single Tarantino movie where if somebody said, like, oh, we're watching blah 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 movie tonight, I'd be like, fuck yeah! Oh my god, I love that movie! I don't think he has any movies like that. Like, Reservoir Dogs is, like, super nostalgic to me because of all the inside jokes from middle school. But that's it. Like, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even be into that one. Like, I'm only into Reservoir Dogs for the nostalgia. I've never seen Pulp Fiction, and I kind of don't want to. Not really into Kill Bill. Death Proof was, like, it was okay. You know what I like about Death Proof is that it's, like, simple as fuck. Like, that movie is so simple. I feel like if you could write, like, an essay about it and it would be, like, a one-pager, like, one side of one page. Like, it's so nice and streamlined, like, and there's a really funny part in, Death Proof where it's, like, because this is what I'm talking about, is, like, Tarantino's homage to, like, the cheap old movies, even though he has probably enough money to do fucking anything, but it's, like, you know, he imitates, like, the cheapness of the old days or whatever, And I just remember there's this one part where they're in a hospital and the I think it's like a sheriff. It's either two sheriffs, or like a sheriff and a cop, or like a sheriff and a doctor. I just remember one of them was the sheriff, and they're walking down the hall in the hospital, like talking about the car crash. And they like, they're walking down the hall and shit like that talking. And then they like turn a corner, and then, it cuts and it shows them walking down new hallway, but it's the exact same hallway they just walked down. Like they literally, it's like they're in a loop. Like they literally just walked down the exact same hallway twice, and it's like clear as day. Like you see all the same posters on the wall and everything like that, So it's just like really funny, because it's like, obviously he didn't have to do that, but it's just like that's the way they would have done it back then if they had like a super small budget, It's like, we can only shoot like this corner of the room, so let's use the fuck out of it, We'll make it look good in editing, and stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, Kill Bill I'm not into. It's just, it wants to be epic, but it just drags on too fucking long. And if you're not excited by samurai swords, and if you're not excited by revenge, I've never been into revenge stories that much. Maybe when I was little, I used to draw a lot of revenge pictures of like eco-terrorists winning. But now, in my jaded age, nah, I don't really care about revenge story. To me, revenge stories are always tragedies, like, in my eyes. It's never satisfying, because I always just feel like you can take all the revenge you want, it's never gonna bring back the person that was killed, or whatever was stolen from you. Like, it's never gonna undo the past. So, I don't know, that's my take on it now. But, okay, where am I? Number 3, American Werewolf in London. American Werewolf in London, people love. They say it's great. Yeah, the special effects are cool, and I like the ghost guy. Like, I like how the ghost, I like how he comes back and he's, like, slowly rotting away, and stuff like that. But most of the shit I don't like in American Werewolf in London. Like, I don't like the fact that the guy is sleeping with his nurse. I always think that shit is weird. I don't like that. I hate the fucking long, fucking drawn out, like, feels like half an hour long transformation scene, which, if you want to just talk about special effects, okay, fine. The special effects are great. They're amazing. I couldn't do it. Okay, yeah, they're fucking great. They're A+++, okay, whatever. But to me, it takes more than special effects to make me want to watch a movie. I'm not this huge special effects buff who's gonna watch, like, really annoying shit that has, like, no other redeeming qualities just because the special effects are, like, amazing. Like, I'm just not that person. And American Werewolf in London, I don't even remember the plot. I only remember the things that annoy me. Like, I remember, like, I don't even like the main character. That's another thing. I don't like him. He's got nothing likable about him. He's just, like, he seems like a dick, and his friend's a dick, too. Like, the way they talk to each other is just, like, it just seems like they never even liked each other. I know his friend's, like, pissed off for letting him die, but it's just, like, I don't know. I don't like the way they act. I don't like anything, and I kind of forgot even what even goes on in the movie. I just remember he transforms, it takes, like, about 1,000 million years, and it's just, like, the definition of fucking cringe. Like, I know people mostly use cringe in the, humiliation and shame sense of the word, but the transformation's more just, like, the literal meaning of cringe. It's kind of just, like, sit there with a cup of booze in front of you, and the challenge is to see if you can get through the entire scene without taking a single sip. Like, I don't know. I'm not the one for this movie. And the rest of it's fucking forgettable. It's so fucking forgettable. So it's just, like, forgettable shit and annoying shit, like, together. And I remember the scene with the bed in the woods. I don't know. Number two. Where is that? The Thing. Okay, same exact critique as last time. The Thing, I've heard of The Thing since I was in middle school, but I never watched it until last year. I watched it on the day before Christmas Eve, and I figured, oh, this movie takes place in a snowy place, and I have nothing to do on Christmas Eve. I was like really bored and had nothing to do. I think my family wasn't getting together for some reason or something like that. But maybe we couldn't do anything because the kids were too little. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, I was alone. I was in my room and I was like, let me finally watch The Thing because I'm in a mood to just see a movie I have heard a lot about and never watched. I put it on, and, like, that movie is just so blah. Like, is so, like I said, same critique as last time. All that anybody ever wants to talk about is the special effects. Okay, fine. Yeah, special effects, A++, like 20 pluses, and you get gold apple. Okay, the special effects are amazing and all this shit. I love the way they, the little things that whip around, like, they're really disturbing and stuff. I think they must have electrified them or something. They must have had a wire inside of it with electricity running through it or something like that to make it, like, thrash around like that. But, yes, special effects are out of this world, but this is not a music video, okay? Like I just said, like, I need a little bit more, and this movie, The Thing, is just so nothing. Like, it's just, like, and so many people love it so much. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube, people always talking about it because I watch a lot of, like, movie reviews and shit like that, and people just put this at the top of their list, like, over and over and over again. They're like, the thing from the 80s, that is, like, the shit, I fucking love that movie, and it's like, well, I'm glad you do, because I don't fucking see it. Like, just talk about a movie where fucking nothing happens. Like, it's just bleakness, and maybe that's the point. Like, maybe the people who are putting this on their number one spot over and over of, like, best horror movie of all time, best movie of all time, maybe that's just what they like. Maybe they just enjoy the bleakness of movies like that, and that's, like, what, like, really gets them. They're just like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever seen. But to me, it's just, like, you see all that, like, emptiness of Antarctica, and it's just, like, to me, that's the entire movie. Like, the first seconds of the movie opening, where they just show, like, the snow, just the vastness of, like, Antarctica, nothing's there except this little science station, like, that's it. That says everything to me. Like, all these guys suck that are in the movie. Like, they all suck so fucking hard, including, McCready. I don't like him. There's only one guy in the entire movie that I like, and that's the young guy with the roller skates. I think he's a cook or something like that. And you know what? That actually makes total sense because I've thought about this. Okay, like, I think that makes total sense because he actually has a job. Like, if he's the cook, right? His job is to feed everybody else, and he probably feels proud of that, like, yeah, I'm this young guy on this expedition, I'm, like, providing the food, like, I'm doing an important job, and everybody else is just kind of sitting around, like, smoking, like, the one guy's a pothead, he's always smoking weed, and they're just, like, playing ping pong and stuff, like, and, like, I'm not saying the movie's a bad job, like, obviously it's well made, and I'm pretty sure that's what they wanted, like, I'm pretty sure they wanted the movie to be bleak, and, like, just feel so depressing and shit like that, like, I think that's what they're going for, so it's like, yeah, good job for doing what you wanted, but that's not gonna make me say it's a good movie, because to me, a good movie means I want to watch it. It makes me feel good to watch it, and I'm, like, motivated to see it again, and show it to people, and, like, to me, The Thing is just, it's just so empty. It's, like, emptiness incarnate. Like, all these guys suck, and I just remember thinking, like, the first scene where you just see their rec room, and everybody's just kind of, like, and they're all just wearing their, like, their, they're whatever you call it, they're fucking like white boiler suits and stuff like that. It's almost kind of like One Flew the Cuckoo's Nest. Like that's what I remember saying to myself when I was watching it alone in my room. I was just like, this looks like One Flew the Cuckoo's Nest. This looks like a men's ward, like the state like crazy house, because it's just like everybody's wearing white and they're all kind of dirty. Like they're just like, why do we need to fucking even do laundry? Because we don't give a fuck. Like nothing's going on. We haven't seen the sun in like 5 months. And everything sucks. Like we can't call our families. We just have each other, and we honestly kind of all hate each other. The doctor's a fucking dick. There's only one part in the movie that, and there's another thing, the movie doesn't scare me. I think maybe once again, if I saw it, if I was, I don't know, 20 years old or something, or a teenager in 82 and I saw this when it first came out, maybe I'd be scared of it. I'd definitely be grossed out by it. I mean, it's definitely kind of like disgusting, but like, I don't know if I'd be scared, it's just like, to me the movie is not scary. It's just like depressing, and it's just a dirge, and it's almost kind of just like, the movie starts and you see a bunch of like, to me, this is what the movie's like. The movie starts, right? You see a bunch of people who, like, only have, like, a week left to live, like, they're all terminally, like, it's a hospice or some shit. And the whole movie, you just watch them, like, die one at a time. Like, it's just fucking depressing, and you don't like any of them. There's only one moment in the movie where I actually felt anything, like, for a second, and that's when the guy said, like, oh, let's kill all the dogs, basically, and the look on the dude's face, the dude who was, like, the dog keeper, I guess, like, the one who was most close to all the dogs, like, the look on his face, and then he went to go run to the dogs, I was just like, aw, he loves his dogs, but, like, that's the only thing I felt. Every other second of the movie, I felt absolutely nothing, and I'm just like, I feel cold and empty watching this, just like the snow in Antarctica. And maybe that's what they're going for. So good job, but you're number 2 on my movies I don't like but everybody else likes list. Okay. Number 1, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park. Da-da-da! My most hated fucking movie that everybody says is fucking great. People, and this is another thing, because this is, like, not even an 80s kid versus 90s kid thing, like, Jurassic Park, people who are the same age as me, or only off by like 1 or 2 years, love Jurassic Park. Like, they think Jurassic Park is like the fucking shit. Like, they fucking love Jurassic Park. And I fucking hate Jurassic Park. If somebody asked me to come over and watch Jurassic Park, I would decline. Or if I was at a party and Jurassic Park was going to be put on, I would make sure that I am like always in the kitchen, or I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go for a little walk around the block, or just not tell anybody, go out to the yard if there was a yard at the party or whatever. I would make myself scarce from the TV, because I don't want to fucking watch Jurassic Park. I don't like it. Like, it gets under my fucking skin. Like, the catalyst for me hating Jurassic Park, like, this is the thing, people always say, like, oh, Jurassic Park was so magical and everything like that. Oh my god, the dinosaurs look so good. And yeah, they do look good, but to me, that the whole, like, magical feeling of, like, oh my, this is so awesome, it just makes me happy, like Disneyland. Like, I never felt that way. It always creeps me out. That movie's creepy to me. The scientists are really creepy. And, I don't know, maybe you just call me anti-science or something like that, but, like, I just don't like the vibe of the movie. Something about it just gets under my skin. Like, it's just like, if I had to be stuck with these fucking people in this movie, oh my god. Like, I think I would just sacrifice myself to the raptors or something like that. Like, yeah, that movie made raptors cool forever. I had a binder when I was 7 years old that I still have to this day that had a velociraptor on it, because, and of course all the fucking dinosaur buffs have to be like, this is so inaccurate, I don't know, look at Land Before Time when they have their, like, giant toe that, like, springs up, like, almost kind of like a vampire's fangs. They just come out when the vampire's about to attack. The velociraptor's toe goes up like a fucking, I think it's supposed to be kind of like a rooster's spur, that's on the back of their leg that they fucking cut the shit out of each other with. But anyways, it is kind of funny to just have, like, a single talon, but whatever. That's 90s kids grew up with, so whatever. What was I talking about? Right, so the thing that put Jurassic Park on my shit list forever and all time. It's from Jurassic Park 2, when they're operating on the baby T-Rex. Like, that just fucking made my blood, and to this day, makes my blood fucking boil. And I know it's a fake T-Rex, okay? I know it's a fake dinosaur, and no creatures were actually harmed in the making of this film, but I'm just like, this is a baby. This is a baby, and you were showing it being tortured in, like, one of the worst ways, in a movie that is supposedly for, like, maybe not kids, but, like, you know, teenagers, people under 18, like, 10-year-olds are really into this movie, and I'm just like, you're showing this? Like, doesn't anybody but me notice that this is fucked up? Like, this animal's being tortured, and it's a baby animal! It's a baby! It's a baby! And you're fucking torturing it. And she, like, goes out of her way to say, like, oh, no more morphine, cause blah, blah, blah. Like, what is this, fucking Vietnam? What? That just, oh, God. It makes me so fucking mad. But, that's from the second Jurassic Park. Okay, I always wanted them to just get their fucking heads bitten off by the mom T-Rex. I just wanted them to die so fucking bad. I just wanted it so badly, and I never got it. But, that's from Jurassic Park 2. But Jurassic Park 1, it's still, I don't remember them having anything like that in there that pissed me off that much, but just the whole scientist vibe. Like, I just remember, like, I think there's, like, I don't remember that well because I haven't seen it in forever because I hated it so fucking much, and it just gives me a creepy feeling every time I think about it. But I just think isn't there a lot of scenes where they're, like, in a laboratory, and there's, like, that, like, laboratory lighting, that, like, freaks me out. I don't like white rooms, you know, I don't like sterile, like, medical-looking shit. That's just, I can't do it, you know? At least in The Thing, they had medical stuff, but it was so fucking dirty and dilapidated, it almost kind of, like, didn't trigger me. But, like, Jurassic Park is, like, slick and well-oiled, and it just makes me think of, like, a machine that, like, you go in and it, like, you know, it, like, skins you piece by piece, and it has no remorse because it's a machine, you know? And it just skins you as accurately as possible as you're still alive. And then it, like, tans the hide to make it as beautiful as possible while you're, like, dying a fucking horrific death, you know? Anyway, it's just, like, and I don't like all the techno jargon. Don't they say a lot of, like, scientific, like, technical jargon and shit like that? And another thing, I don't think any of the once again, I don't think any of the characters are likable. I think, like, I've heard some quotes, like the quote where, Jeff Goldblum's putting the water on the girl's hand talking about chaos theory. He sounds like a fucking dick. And I'm sure it's just that same aura that was so common in fucking 90s, like, Hollywood, and is still going on to this day, where it's like, everybody acts like a dick. Everybody acts like a fucking asshole, and they're all full of themselves, they're all arrogant, they're all conceited smartasses, and you're supposed to think that makes them great, or something. Anyway, I don't like Jurassic Park. The one scene where they're, like, out on the plain, it's, like, sunny, and there's grass, and the dinosaurs are roaming about. That's nice, but the movie just makes me feel bad. It just makes me feel, like, gross. And when I hear the words Jurassic Park, and it's so funny because like I said, I listen to all these, like, movie reviews and movie reviewers and shit like that, and I love listening to other people talk about movies. But, like, whenever Jurassic Park comes up, and I hear people start to be like, Jurassic Park was so wonderful, oh, that's my childhood nostalgia of the 90s, blah, blah, I'm just like, I feel like my fucking flashback's about to come on or something. Not really. But, you know, it's just like one of those things where everybody else is like, aren't you having fun? And you're, like, suffering. Because you're like, you couldn't possibly understand. You couldn't possibly understand why I'm so unhappy in the same exact situation that makes you so happy. It's like if you take two kids to, like, a mall Santa Claus or something, and one of them is, like, in heaven, because they're like, Santa Claus, my god, And the other kid is, like, scared to fucking death of Santa Claus. They're like, don't put me on that fucker's lap! No! Yeah. Anyways, okay, that's my whole thing. Bye.